The Black Dahlia Murder Mystery. January 15, 1947, Los Angeles. A gruesome discovery that would haunt the city for decades. A woman's body, severed in two, found in a vacant lot. Who was she? Why was she killed in such a horrific manner? And who did it? This is the story of the Black Dahlia, one of the most chilling unsolved murders in American history. The discovery. It was a sunny afternoon when Elizabeth Short's body was discovered by a passerby in a vacant lot in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. She had been cut in half, the lower half of her body placed neatly a few feet from the top. Her body was drained of blood, and the grotesque crime scene left the police baffled and terrified. The brutality of the crime was so chilling that the press quickly dubbed her the Black Dahlia, a name that would cement her place in criminal history. But who was Elizabeth Short, the woman behind the tragic headlines? Elizabeth, born in 1924 in Boston, was only 22 years old when she died. She had come to Los Angeles with hopes of becoming an actress, a dream that never had the chance to flourish. Short's beauty was striking, but her life was filled with hardship. She lived in a number of places and worked various odd jobs while trying to make it in Hollywood. But nothing ever seemed to work out for her. She was described as friendly, yet elusive, and as the investigation unfolded, it became clear that she was not as innocent as she appeared. The crime scene. The crime scene was unlike anything the police had seen before. Short's body had been meticulously posed with her mouth cut into a gruesome smile. Her eyes were wide open, as if staring into the abyss. Police later determined that she had been killed elsewhere and then dumped in the lot. But the most shocking element of the crime was the precision with which her body was mutilated. The level of violence suggested the killer had some form of medical knowledge. The press and the public were left horrified and fascinated. The police began to investigate, but immediately they were up against a wall. There were no witnesses, no obvious clues, and no identification on the body. Short's fingerprints had been removed, making it almost impossible to identify her. It wasn't until a few days later, when a local newspaper received a package containing Elizabeth Short's birth certificate, photographs, and her address book, that the police had a breakthrough. The police were able to identify her, but the investigation into her murder was just beginning. Suspects and theories. As the investigation continued, more and more strange leads began to emerge. Police questioned hundreds of people, but every lead seemed to end in dead ends. In the years following Short's murder, countless theories emerged as to who could have been responsible for the killing. One of the most prominent theories involved a man named George Hodel, a well-respected doctor who had a history of being involved in strange and questionable activities. Hodel was a prime suspect, but he was never charged. In fact, many people believe that Hodel was a key figure in the Black Dahlia case. He was never publicly charged, but rumors about his involvement have persisted for years. Then there's the theory of the Hollywood connection. Elizabeth Short had connections to many people in the Hollywood industry, including a number of men who were close to her. Some investigators believe the killer may have been a Hollywood insider, perhaps someone with ties to the movie business or the elite circles of Los Angeles society. Others speculate that the murder could have been linked to an affair gone wrong or some form of jealousy within these circles. There was also talk of a mob connection. It was well known that Los Angeles in the 1940s was a city rife with organized crime, and many believed the Black Dahlia case could have been the result of a mob hit. Some have even suggested that Short's murder was a symbolic act, an initiation rite or a warning from powerful crime syndicates. After the murder, the press played a huge role in the Black Dahlia story. Newspapers covered the case relentlessly, sensationalizing every detail and fueling the public's obsession with the mystery. And the killer seemed to enjoy the attention. In the weeks following the murder, the killer sent multiple letters to the police and newspapers, taunting them with cryptic messages. In one letter, the killer wrote, "Here is Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow." Some of the letters were cut out from newspapers, others were handwritten, but they were all designed to keep the investigation on a wild goose chase. The fact that the killer was actively engaging with the media made the case even more intriguing. It felt like a game to him. Some have speculated that the letters were just another part of the killer's twisted fantasy. In the aftermath of the murder, the FBI became involved in the investigation. They quickly realized that Short's death was not just another random crime. It was something far more chilling. They searched for leads and investigated the theories surrounding George Hodel, among others, but they too were left without answers. One of the strangest elements of the investigation was the seeming lack of progress. The case dragged on for decades with little to show for it. The Black Dahlia case became a cold case file, never to be closed. The most recent developments. In recent years, interest in the Black Dahlia case has surged again, with new theories and investigations surfacing. In 2003, a book called Black Dahlia Avenger was published by crime writer Steve Hoddle, the son of George Hoddle, suggesting that his father was the killer. Hoddle's book presents new evidence and ties his father to the crime, but the case remains officially unsolved. Even with the passage of time, the Black Dahlia murder continues to be one of the most captivating, mysterious, and unsolved crimes in American history. Was it George Hoddle, a jealous lover, a Hollywood insider, or perhaps someone with a far darker agenda? The questions remain. Theories and final thoughts. There are plenty of theories about the Black Dahlia case, but no clear answers. Some believe that Short's murder was the work of a deranged serial killer. Others think it was a calculated crime of passion. Some even believe that the killer was never identified because he was part of a larger conspiracy. Perhaps the case is destined to remain unsolved, but the questions continue to haunt those who study the case. What we do know is that Elizabeth Short's death was not just a murder. It was a symbol of Hollywood's darker side, a side where secrets were buried and lives were lost for the wrong reasons. The Black Dahlia case remains one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in true crime history. If you're fascinated by this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Uncovered Crime Stories by Puissant AI for more gripping true crime tales. We'll keep digging into the darkest corners of history to uncover the truth. What do you think happened to the Black Dahlia? Let us know in the comments below.